The influence of technology has empowered First Nations people to redefine beauty on their own terms. It's also offered a space for them to interrogate beauty as we've traditionally perceived it, asking the question, does it still serve us? I know as a First Nations person, in the past my relationship with beauty has been problematic because I was viewing it through a Western lens, which didn't always reflect my authentic beauty back to me. But when I shifted the beauty paradigm and started to look at beauty through a First Nations perspective, it allowed me to ask, how does beauty make me feel? Does it reflect the values of my culture and community? I think with Western beauty, we run into the problem of it disempowering us. Often we are spoon-fed how to see ourselves and others. We can learn a lot by applying decolonial thinking to the way that we perceive beauty. I think it will help empower us as a collective. As First Nations peoples, we need to be clear culturally what is sacred, what we will and will not share, making sure that cultural law is the guiding principle on how we use and interact with new technologies. We're at an exciting point in time where our Indigenous youth can drive the development of new technologies, making sure that our elders and communities are at the forefront of its development. But new technology can also be a tool to protect and preserve our legacy, and that's the oldest continuous living culture in the world. But we have to be mindful that we employ data sovereignty protocols so that our data is controlled and owned by us as a community. Too many times in the past, unfortunately, we've seen the theft and commodification and appropriation of Indigenous intellectual property and cultural knowledge. That is why First Nations leadership and engagement is important when we develop new technologies. I believe technology plays a pivotal role in the preservation and promotion of First Nations beauty standards. When I launched Ascension, Australia's first digital platform for women of colour, I celebrated a diversity of beauty standards. For instance, the ancient and matriarchal tradition of facial tattoos that belongs to the Melanesian and Polynesian communities. We talked about the natural hair movement and the cultural significance of hair braiding, which also fed into a global dialogue, but the development of anti-racism and discrimination policies. For instance, in the US, they have the Crown Act, which protects the natural, protective styles of women of colour. So technology has empowered women of colour to gain back their human rights and equal opportunities in a variety of industries. Digital technology has helped First Nations people challenge the way that others perceive our beauty. As a First Nations woman, I know in the past it hasn't always been in the best light. Take, for instance, the very sexist and racist statement, "You're too pretty to be Aboriginal," which unfortunately I've been on the receiving end of. But I've used the medium of documentary to challenge that offensive statement. But now our Indigenous youth have social media, such as TikTok and Instagram, to call out racism, but also educate the masses whilst doing so. The digital world has also brought together Indigenous creators, such as Black Lens, a cohort of videographers, photographers, and digital storytellers. For the first time, you're seeing traditional and contemporary forms of beauty and femininity being captured by First Nations women. The digital world is a wonderful place for First Nations to play and explore their traditions and identity. So I believe that digital technology is a form of advocacy for First Nations communities. Digital storytelling has enabled First Nations women to discuss beauty and femininity in a unique way that is distinct to our culture. For me, I've used my book, Juguru, to discuss beauty and femininity through creation and matriarchal stories. But what if I applied new technology, like augmented reality? I believe it would enhance the storytelling, but provide the audience an immersive experience. As a First Nations person, I'm often asked the question, how do you define connection to country? If I used a technology, say augmented reality, that allows that person to step into my shoes, that we can together co-create and share a new reality. For many years, First Nations people have been underrepresented in the beauty industry. I see new technologies as bridging that gap, providing us unlimited access to the industry, but also in the global market. Indigenous beauty influencers, brands, and entrepreneurs are able to use technologies like virtual try-ons or user-generated content. The data and insights from these technologies can help other companies better understand and create inclusive and diverse policies or representation when it comes to beauty products and services. Companies can use that data and insight to invite diverse communities to celebrate new beauty narratives.